Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. I've got a little bit of an update to share with you this evening. Before we get into that update, a couple links. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, my PayPal, and my merch store to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Those links are in the description below. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook version, written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. They're available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. The links to those audiobooks are also in the description as well. Now, everyone, I have taken enough of your time. Let's get on with today's upload. Shall we? This is going to be a brief update video on a grizzly bear attack, quote unquote, that happened in Montana. I do not believe it was, and I shared it the other day. There is now an update that pretty much goes along with my belief and theory. So I will give you a little bit of preface and then the update. 8/7/21, 7:32 p.m. Helena, Montana, a grizzly bear pulled a woman from her tent in a small Montana town in the middle of the night and killed her before fellow campers could use bear spray to force the Bruin out of the area, wildlife officials said on Wednesday. Lee Davis Locan, 65, Chico, California, was on a long-distance bicycling trip and had stopped in the western Montana town of Avendo when she was killed early Tuesday, states Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Park official, as they provided more details about the attack. Locan was killed on the bear's second visit to the site where she and fellow bicyclists were camping near a post office, officials state. The approximately 400-pound grizzly first awakened the campers at 3 a.m., officials state. They took the food out of their tents, secured it, and went back to sleep. Surveillance video from a business in town showed the bear about a block from the post office about 15 minutes later, wildlife officials say. About 4:15, the sheriff's office received a 911 call after two people in a tent near the victim was awakened by sounds of the attack. Powell County Sheriff Gavin Rosell states, they discharged their bear spray, the bear ran away. The bear is also believed to have entered a chicken coop in that town that night, killing and eating several chickens. Officials searched by helicopter for the grizzly again Wednesday, but could not find it. At this point, our best chance for catching this bear will be covert traps set in the area near the chicken coop where the bear killed and ate several chickens, stated Randy Arnold, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks Regional Supervisor in Missoula. The bear will be killed if it is found, stated Greg Lemon, the spokesperson for Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Wow, there's an awful lot of people talking for the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, isn't there? Investigators have obtained DNA from the bear at the scene of the attack and will be able to compare it to any Bruin they are able to trap, the agency says. Locan, a registered nurse who had worked in the hospital in Chico, had looked forward to this Montana bike trip for months, states Mary Flowers, a friend of the victims from Chico. Locan had taken previous long-distance bike trips, and on this one was accompanied by her sister and friend. She loved these kind of adventures, a woman in her 60s, and she's doing this kind of stuff. She had a passion for life that was out of ordinary, Flowers states. While there was thought to be more than 50,000 grizzly bears roaming North America centuries ago, there are now believed to be fewer than 1,500 left in the United States. According to National Wildlife Federation, since 1975, the Endangered Species Act has protected grizzly bears as a threatened species in the lower 48, meaning it's illegal to harm or kill animals except in cases of self-defense or defense of others. 2017, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service removed those protections, But a year later, a federal court forced the agency to put the grizzly bear back on the list. A 5-year status review released by the service in March this year recommended no change to the current status of the bear. Although grizzly bears are federally protected, by the time the Montana authorities got to the site where the body of a bear was washed up on a beach in Yellowstone River last month, its head and claws had been torn off, prompting a federal investigation. All right. So, couple things. There's numerous people just chewing the fat from the fish and animal and wildlife thing from Montana. You got 3 people just bullshitting us. If these guys are experienced, which it said they were, why? Why? Who in their right mind? I mean, God darn it, a Boy Scout that's a freaking Cub Scout that's 8 or 9 or 10 years old knows not to leave food in your tent while you're camping. You hear it. Maybe you pay attention to life. Okay? I understand that. They're probably in a rush, tired, boop, they did it. All right, now this bear, air quotes, broke into the chicken coop and ate. Why is it going back to a tent to drag a woman out of it and kill her? Makes no sense to me. Does it make sense to you guys? Because if it does, please tell me how. And yet they got DNA from the bear that's 400 pounds because it was on video. We don't have video of it dragging the lady out of the tent. So, I mean, you got some sort of BS, whatever. I don't understand. But here's the update. 10 hours ago, Helena, Montana, a grizzly bear that pulled a California woman from her tent and killed her earlier this week, was fatally shot early Friday by wildlife officials who used night vision goggles to stake out a chicken coop that the bear raided near the small Montana town where the woman was attacked. The bear was shot by federal wildlife workers shortly after midnight when it approached the trap set near the coop about 2 miles from Avendo, where Lee Davis Loken, 65, of Chico, California, was killed early Tuesday morning, states Greg Lemon, Montana Fish Wildlife Parks. Wow, in the first article, guys, it was right around the corner. Now it's 2 miles. The bear had raided the chicken coop overnight Wednesday, and officials set a baited trap nearby, hoping to lure the animal back, Lemon states. Local authorities said the closure of campsites in town would continue until DNA evidence in the case is returned. Based on the size of the bear, the color of the bear, and the nature of the chicken coop raids, we are confident we have our offending bear, he said. Lemon said tracks found at the site of the coop also matched tracks found in Avendo. The town along the banks of the Blackfoot River, made famous by the movie The River Runs Through It, has fewer than 100 people and borders a huge expanse of forested lands that stretch to the Canadian border. The region is home to an estimated 1,000 grizzly bears. Bear attacks on humans are relatively rare, particularly in inhabited areas, and Avendo business Carter to adventuresome travelers, including bicyclists like Loken, who are allowed to pitch their tents in town. Donna Aiken, an artist who lives 7 miles east of Avendo, said the bear's death will bring relief to the community. Aiken sees grizzlies occasionally and signs of them, such as droppings and tracks, but hasn't been bothered by them. Everyone recognizes this is really abnormal behavior to actually attack someone sleeping in a tent in town, she said. I think we still don't have a good answer for why he did it. Investigators gathered DNA evidence from the scene of Loken's death and will compare it to the samples gathered from the dead grizzly bear, which was taken to the State Wildlife Laboratory in Bozeman for a necropsy, Lemon states. The results could be available within the next 3 days. Until then, Powell County Sheriff Gavin Rosales said he will maintain a closure on outdoor campsites in Avendo. Loken, a registered nurse who had worked in the hospital in Chico, was an experienced outdoorswoman and cyclist who was on a much anticipated mountain biking trip. She and two companions were camped behind the Avendo post office early Tuesday when she was attacked. Friends described Loken as a free spirit and competitive and aware of the dangers she faced on the trip. Now, I feel terrible that this lady was killed. I truly, truly do. But if she was an experienced outdoors person, why the frick was there food in your tent? Well, you know what? I don't think there was. I think that's what the government, the Fish and Wildlife and Parks, and I'm only saying this like that because I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with the lies. I'm fed up with the BS that makes no sense anymore. It makes no sense. They are taking us as dummies. I mean, government is taking us for fucking fools, and I'm sick of it because I'm not a fool, and I know the majority of you are not either. This woman was an experienced outdoors woman. She was an intelligent woman. She was a nurse. You know damn well she was thinking, I'm going to put food in my tent. No, she wasn't. It was probably put up somewhere, or they probably didn't have any. They were probably eating at a restaurant because they were parked in town camping. She had a really good spirit. She always had a smile on her face, always lit up when she saw you. Always gave you big hugs. Mike Costello, president of Chico Cycling Team, who knew Loken for 15 years. But I think most of her identity was, outside on the bike. Enjoying the outdoors was her thing. The estimated 400-pound bear awakened Loken and her companions in an adjacent tent at 3 a.m. Tuesday. After the bear ran away, the campers removed the food from their tent, secured it, and went back to bed. Well, okay, if that's the case, why wasn't it secured before? That just makes no sense to me. This woman was intelligent. She's not a dummy. She's a nurse. And I'm going to keep saying it. Because they're making her look like a dummy, and she's not. The bear was seen on a video camera at a business about a block away from the post office about 15 minutes later. Really? Because it was 7 miles down the road, or 2 miles, excuse me. The lady that said it was a relief that the bear was killed lived 7 miles away, but 2 miles away the bear was seen at a chicken coop. Now it's like right at the post office. Hey, how you doing? Bullshit. About 4:15, the sheriff received a 911 call after 2 people in the tent near the victim was awakened by sounds of the attack. The bear is believed to have entered the chicken coop in town that night, killing and eating several chickens. It's full! Why is it gonna attack an innocent woman sleeping? It's not. Authorities hunted for the animal over 3 days using helicopters and search crews on the ground and set out 5 large traps made of steel culverts and baited with roadkill in an effort to attract the bear. Right here is where the article gets friggin' crazy, alright? Bears that attack people are not always killed if the mauling resulted in a surprise encounter of the bear was defending its young. That's bullshit. But the bear involved in Loken's death was considered a public safety threat because of the circumstances of the attack. Here's where it gets creepy. On Thursday night, last night, an Avendo area woman came home and found her door ripped off and noticed large claw marks on her home, the sheriff states. Lemon said wildlife officials don't have enough evidence to draw any connection between the damage of the house and the bear that killed Loken, because they don't know when the house was damaged. Well, it was obviously damaged Thursday night, because I'm guessing the woman was probably at work Thursday day and came home Thursday night. Moron, Lemon. Well, I'm just surprised that none of his other cronies were in on the lie. So obviously Lemon's going to be the fall guy, the big old liar. I don't know. I'm fed up. This poor woman's family, Brenda Hamilton's poor family, all of these people's families are lied to every frickin' year. Every month there's something happening. Look at a couple months ago. A bear snuck up on the dude and pushed him off a cliff. Bull crap. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick of the lies, and I'm sick of the government lying to us. They need to come. Now I know how Claudia Ackley feels. Now I really do. By suing the state of California. She's like, hey, I'm going to sue you. Just tell me that they exist. Tell me there's things out there that exist. She didn't want any money. She just wants the truth. That's all we want. Give it to us. We're adults. We're not children. It's time to tell the truth, to stop lying. Anyway, I probably ruffled some feathers on this one. I don't know if they listen or not, but if they do, hopefully they don't come knocking at my door. Anyway, I'm just fed up, guys. I really am with the lies. There's too many innocent people dying, and then the news makes them look like idiots. So, with that, guys, stay safe. Be kind to each other. Life is short. Life is precious. And with that, farewell.